15 crops you need to start in mid-October. Hey friends, welcome back to Earthly Delights. If you're here, you're probably one of us. The balcony grower who nudges pots toward every sunbeam, the backyard tinkerer who loves a Saturday soil project, the busy parent craving a quick harvest between dinner and bedtime, or the curious beginner who just wants a win that actually fits real life. Mid-October is our secret doorway. The light turns softer, the air steadier, and both windowsills and garden beds become calmer, kinder places to start. In this video, we're setting you up with crops that reward different rhythms, fast pick-me-ups to build confidence, and slow, plant it and forget it. Gems that quietly prepare an abundant winter and a sweeter spring. I'll show you small space tricks, frost-friendly choices, and container moves that keep greens coming even when jackets come out. Think of this as your reset, simple, doable steps that turn cool days into delicious momentum. If that sounds like your kind of cozy, hit play. And before we dive in, tap subscribe to join our growing circle at Earthly Delights so you never miss a season. 1. Garlic, the October promise that grows beneath the frost. When mid-October arrives, garlic becomes the quiet symbol of hope in every gardener's hand. You take 1 clove, press it gently into the cool soil, and somehow you're planting patience itself. While winter settles above, your garlic sleeps and dreams below, sending out strong roots that will carry it into the new year. It's one of those crops that remind us, life doesn't stop when the days grow short, it simply shifts direction. If you live in a cooler zone, hardneck varieties like music or chestnut red love the chill, while warmer regions can rely on softneck types like California early. Don't worry if you're short on space, garlic thrives in raised beds, deep pots, or even recycled containers as long as they drain well. Just choose the fattest cloves, tuck them about 3 inches deep, and let nature do the rest. What makes garlic magical isn't only the harvest, it's the waiting. Each green shoot that pierces the soil in spring feels like a reward for your faith in the quiet months. For balcony growers and backyard gardeners alike, planting garlic now is like writing yourself a promise that a small, humble act in autumn can fill your kitchen with flavor and your home with pride come summer. 2. Bunching onions, the effortless green bridge between seasons. From the grounded patience of garlic, we move to something lighter, bunching onions, the cheerful green bridge between fall and spring. They may not shout for attention, but once you grow them, you'll never want to be without their subtle sweetness and crisp texture. Plant them in mid-October, and they'll quietly take root through the cool months, ready to burst into vibrant growth as soon as the days begin to lengthen. For busy gardeners and small space growers, bunching onions are a dream. They don't need deep beds or perfect soil. A window box, grow bag, or even a repurposed bucket will do the trick. Sow the seeds thickly, and don't worry about precision. They don't mind growing close together. Each slim stalk you snip encourages new ones to rise, giving you a steady supply all winter long. And here's the secret. While the rest of the garden sleeps, these greens remind you that life keeps growing in small, consistent ways. Toss them into soups, stir-fries, or morning omelets, and you'll taste the quiet reward of your October effort. Whether you're tending a backyard bed or nurturing a few pots on your balcony, bunching onions offer what every gardener craves this time of year. Easy progress, fresh flavor, and the gentle feeling that your space, no matter how small, is still alive with growth. 3. Asian greens, crisp bok choy and tatsoi, born for cool. October days, after the gentle growth of bunching onions, we turn to something that rewards you fast. Asian greens like bok choy, tatsoi, and mizuna. These leafy treasures thrive exactly when most plants begin to fade, loving the gentle chill and the soft October sunlight. They're the kind of crop that makes you feel like a gardening genius, even if you're just starting out. In only 3 or 4 weeks, you'll be harvesting tender leaves that look and taste like something straight from a farmer's market. Bok choy offers a crisp bite and a hint of sweetness, perfect for quick stir-fries or soups. Tatsoi, with its spoon-shaped leaves, forms glossy rosettes that seem to hug the soil, thriving in cool air and mild frost. And mizuna adds a peppery note, waking up any salad or noodle dish. Together, they bring energy back into a garden that might otherwise feel like it's winding down. Even if your garden is just a balcony railing or a few planters by the kitchen door, Asian greens will flourish in shallow containers in small spaces. Their fast turnaround keeps your hands and heart engaged as the weather cools. As you harvest handfuls of crisp leaves in the weeks ahead, you'll realize that October isn't the end of growing season. It's the start of something refreshingly simple, alive and green. 4. Arugula, the quickest way to add peppery life to your fall garden. From the lush calm of bok choy and tatsoi, we move to a leaf with attitude, arugula. This vibrant green is what turns an ordinary salad into something that makes you pause and smile. Planted in mid-October, and in just 3 to 4 weeks, you'll be snipping those sharp, peppery leaves that wake up your taste buds and remind you that freshness still thrives in cooler air. Arugula loves the mild chill. It grows faster, cleaner, and more flavorful than in summer. Scatter the seeds in shallow rows or sprinkle them across a container. Press lightly and keep the soil just damp enough to stay friendly. Within days, you'll see a delicate carpet of green that's eager to be picked. For constant harvest, sow a new handful every couple of weeks. This way, one crop grows while another waits in the wings. What's beautiful about arugula is how effortlessly it fits into your rhythm. Busy day? Grab a few leaves for dinner, short on space. It thrives even on a windowsill. Its peppery bite brings warmth to the cooler season, turning simple meals into vibrant expressions of your own harvest. Growing arugula in October feels like planting energy itself, fast, fiery, and full of life, the perfect companion to your cozy autumn kitchen. 5 radishes, the little roots that bring fast joy to October. From the gentle spice of arugula, we move to the garden's most playful reward, radishes. These tiny roots are the perfect reminder that nature doesn't always make us wait. While other crops take months to mature, radishes leap from seed to harvest in as little as 3 weeks, offering that quick burst of confidence every gardener needs. When days shorten and nights cool, they grow smoother, crisper, and sweeter, proof that October's chill can be a blessing in disguise. All they ask for is a bit of loose soil and steady moisture. Scatter the seeds, cover lightly, and watch the magic unfold. Within days, bright green leaves rise like tiny flags of progress. For a continuous harvest, sow a fresh batch each week. You'll always have something growing, something ready. Even if your garden is just a balcony box or a deep tray by the window, radishes will thrive there, turning small spaces into mini fields of abundance. And when you pull that first handful from the soil, it feels like striking treasure. Their colors, ruby white, even violet, shine against the cool earth, and their crisp snap adds brightness to every meal. Radishes remind us that even in the quiet season, growth can be quick, joyful, and full of flavor. In October, they're not just vegetables, they're tiny victories growing right at your fingertips. 6. Beet sweet roots that deepen with every frosty night. From the quick sparkle of radishes, we move to something slower, deeper, and sweeter. Beets. These roots don't rush, they transform. In October's gentle cold, beets settle into the soil, drawing in flavor and color that only deepen as the temperature drops. Every frost sweetens them further, turning earthy roots into natural candy, ready for roasting, pickling, or slicing raw into salads. Beets are the kind of crop that reward quiet persistence. They start small and humble, just a sprinkle of seeds in a row, but beneath the soil, magic is happening. Their leafy tops shimmer in ruby and emerald tones, giving you a bonus harvest before the roots are even ready. For container gardeners, beets are a delight. They thrive in deep pots and raised beds, bringing color and nutrition even to the smallest balcony. And the best part? Every part of the beet gives back. The roots feed the body, the greens nourish the heart, and the process itself feeds the soul. Watching those jewel-toned bulbs swell beneath the soil connects you to something ancient, a rhythm of patience and reward. So as October settles in, plant a few beets, let them rest through the cool nights, and come winter, you'll pull from the ground something truly sweet, shaped by time and your quiet care. 7. Carrots, the frost-kissed roots that grow sweeter with time. From the ruby depths of beets, we drift to another treasure hidden beneath the soil, carrots. They may seem ordinary, but October turns them extraordinary. When the air cools and the soil settles, carrots begin a quiet transformation. Each chilly night triggers the roots to store sugars, creating that crisp, candy-sweet flavor gardeners adore. What begins as a simple seed in the cool earth becomes one of nature's sweetest rewards. Sowing carrots in mid-October is like planting patience with a sprinkle of joy. Their seeds are tiny and slow to wake, but once they do, they grow with steady grace. A fine, loose soil helps them stretch deep and straight, while steady moisture keeps them tender. If you're growing on a patio or balcony, don't worry. Choose shorter or round varieties like Paris Market or Little Finger, perfect for containers. As weeks pass, their feathery greens sway gently in the breeze, hinting at the gold and orange jewels forming below. Harvesting them feels like unearthing buried sunlight, proof that even in the coldest season, sweetness can thrive. Carrots remind us that growth doesn't have to be rushed. Sometimes, the most rewarding things come from simply letting time and nature do their quiet, beautiful work. Spinach, the cool weather powerhouse that never quits. From the sweet patience of carrots, we turn to a leafy legend, spinach, the quiet hero of every cool season garden. October is when it truly shines. The summer heat that once made it bolt is gone, replaced by air that helps its leaves grow thick, glossy, and rich in flavor. With each passing week, as nights turn crisp, spinach becomes sweeter, storing energy in every leaf like nature's own tonic for the months ahead. For gardeners short on time or space, spinach is a gift. You can scatter seeds straight into the soil, fill a few pots, or even grow it in window boxes where morning light filters through. It asks for little more than moisture and cool soil, yet gives back an abundance of vibrant, nourishing greens. Pick the outer leaves as you need them, and the plant will keep giving, quietly regenerating itself for another harvest. Spinach is more than food. It's a symbol of resilience. While other crops fade in the chill, it thrives, reminding you that growth continues even in quiet seasons. Each time you step outside to snip a handful for a warm soup or fresh salad, you'll feel that spark of life again. In October, spinach doesn't just feed the body, it restores the gardener's spirit one tender leaf at a time. And to kale the resilient green that thrives when others fade from the tender sweetness of spinach, we rise to a crop that wears strength like a crown. Kale. October is its favorite month, the time when this leafy warrior truly shows its character. While many plants shrink from frost, kale embraces it. Each cool night sharpens its flavor, softening bitterness and adding that subtle sweetness only the cold can create. It's not just a plant, it's a symbol of endurance, a green that grows stronger when life gets tougher. For gardeners juggling busy days, kale is as forgiving as it is generous. Start it from seed or young transplants, give it a pot, a bed, or even a grow bag, and it will reward you with months of harvest. You can trim the outer leaves while the center keeps growing, cut and come again at its best, and its beauty is undeniable. Frilled edges glistening with morning dew, hues of emerald and deep violet swaying in the chill breeze. Kale belongs to every kind of grower, the health enthusiast seeking nutrition, the small space gardener craving something hearty, and the dreamer who finds peace in watching green life defy the frost. When you pick a handful of kale in late autumn, you're not just gathering food, you're gathering proof that strength like this plant often blooms in the coldest light. 10 lettuce buckets, portable gardens that bring freshness to every corner. From the sturdy resilience of kale, we shift to something light, quick, and endlessly adaptable. Lettuce. October is when it feels at home again. The air is cooler, the sun gentler, and the leaves grow tender and crisp instead of bitter and tired. What makes lettuce special now isn't just the flavor, it's the freedom it gives you. With a few simple buckets or wide containers, you can grow your own portable salad garden anywhere. On a patio, balcony, doorstep, or even by a sunny kitchen window. Drill a few drainage holes, fill the buckets with rich potting mix, and scatter your seeds. Within days, you'll see soft green shoots curling toward the light. The beauty of lettuce buckets is that you can move them around, chasing the sun in the morning, tucking them into shade when the day warms. And when the frost creeps in, you can simply bring them inside to keep the harvest going. Each handful of leaves you snip feels like an instant reward, a burst of freshness grown just steps from where you live. Whether you're a beginner who wants easy success or a seasoned grower squeezing life into every corner, lettuce buckets prove that a thriving garden doesn't need acres of soil, just a little care, a little curiosity, and a bucket full of life. 11. Cilantro and parsley, fragrant herbs that finally find their moment. From the tender crunch of lettuce, we move into the realm of fragrance, where every leaf tells a story. Cilantro and parsley, two herbs often misunderstood in summer, finally come into their own in October. When the air cools and daylight softens, they breathe easier, growing lush and flavorful instead of bolting to seed. For many gardeners, this is redemption season, the time when these aromatic greens finally behave, thrive, and give back generously. Cilantro, with its citrusy spark, loves the chill and grows quickly from seed. Scatter it in pots near your kitchen or along garden borders, and you'll be snipping fresh leaves in just a few weeks. Parsley, the slower but steadier companion, forms a deep root system and dense, curly, or flat leaves that keep producing for months. Together, they create a fragrant duet, perfect for soups, stews, salads, and every home-cooked comfort meal as the days grow shorter. What makes these herbs special isn't just their flavor, it's their timing. When much of the garden fades, cilantro and parsley quietly take over, adding a green spark to the season. Whether you're growing in a backyard bed or a single sunny pot on your balcony, they connect you to the simplest kind of joy. Stepping outside on a cool morning, brushing your hand across the leaves, and letting that fresh scent remind you you're still growing. 12. Peas climbing vines that turn autumn into a living playground. From the fragrant calm of herbs, we rise toward a crop that brings movement and wonder, peas. There's something magical about planting peas in mid-October. You tuck those round little seeds into cool soil, and within days, delicate tendrils reach out like curious hands searching for something to hold. Before long, they're climbing up trellises, fences, or even a simple string tied between two pots, weaving a living tapestry of green. Peas love this season. The cool air helps them grow strong without the stress of heat, and their blossoms, soft pinks and whites, add a quiet beauty before the pods appear. Each pod, once ready, feels like a tiny reward for your patience, bursting with sweetness that store-bought peas can never match. You can eat them fresh right off the vine, toss them into stir-fries, or steam them lightly for a taste that captures the freshness of the moment. Even if your garden is just a balcony, peas adapt beautifully to containers, a deep pot, a few sticks or wires for support, and they'll climb happily, turning small spaces into green playgrounds for both kids and grown-ups. Watching peas grow reminds you of something essential, that nature loves to climb, explore, and play. And maybe in nurturing them, you'll rediscover that same sense of joy in yourself. 13. Fava beans, the cold-loving crop that rewards patience with richness. From the playful climb of peas, we move to a plant that stands tall and strong, fava beans. Also known as broad beans, they're the quiet giants of the cool season, thriving when most crops slow down. Plant them in mid-October, and they'll spend the winter building deep roots, unfazed by chilly winds or frosty mornings. Then as spring returns, their sturdy stems burst with pods filled with buttery, rich beans that taste like no other. For gardeners who crave substance and resilience, fava beans are a gift. They enrich the soil with nitrogen, improving it for the crops that follow, making them both a harvest and a healer for your garden. Even better, they're stunning in bloom, white flowers with inky black markings standing proud against the gray skies of late winter. Their beauty is quiet, their purpose steady. If you're short on space, favas still belong in your plan. They'll grow well in large containers or raised beds, needing only sunlight and consistent moisture. And when you finally shell the pods, you'll understand why generations of gardeners have called them a spring treasure planted in autumn. Fava beans teach us a truth every grower comes to learn, that sometimes the richest rewards are the ones that take their time. 14. Strawberries plant. Now for a spring filled with sweet surprises. From the hearty calm of fava beans, we step into something softer, sweeter, and almost magical. Strawberries. October might seem late for planting, but this is exactly when they're meant to begin their quiet work. While the world above goes still, strawberry roots stretch downward, anchoring themselves in the cool soil, preparing for the explosion of life that spring will bring. By planting now, you're not just sowing fruit, you're sowing anticipation. Bare root or plug plants do best in this season. Nestle them into loose, well-drained soil with the crown sitting right at the surface, then mulch gently to keep the roots cozy through the winter. If space is tight, don't worry. Strawberries thrive in pots, hanging baskets, or even vertical planters, turning balconies into cascades of green and red. Each small act of care this fall, watering, mulching, watching for the first hint of new leaves, will pay you back with sweetness when spring arrives. There's something deeply rewarding about seeing that first white flower bloom after months of waiting. It's a reminder that gardening isn't about instant results, but about trust in the unseen work happening beneath the surface. By planting strawberries in October, you're making a promise to your future self that patience will always taste sweet. Fiarain, Mationapple Claytonia, the winter greens that refuse to quit. From the sweetness of strawberries, we end our journey with two quiet survivors, Mosh and Claytonia. These aren't flashy crops. They don't demand attention. Instead, they thrive in silence, growing through the coldest months when almost everything else has given up. For gardeners who want to keep their hands in the soil, even as winter whispers in, these greens are a hidden gift. Mange, often called corn salad, forms tender rosettes of mild, buttery leaves that melt on the tongue. It laughs in the face of frost, staying soft and green, even when the thermometer dips below freezing. Claytonia, also known as miner's lettuce, grows heart-shaped leaves on slender stems, shining with dew on cold mornings. Together, they create a living salad bar for your home, fresh, sweet, and quietly defiant. You can sow them directly into garden beds, cold frames, or shallow containers and harvest handfuls all winter long. They ask for almost nothing, a little moisture, a touch of light, and your willingness to believe that green life still belongs in the cold. When you step outside on a chilly morning and see them thriving, it feels like a secret between you and nature, that even in winter, the garden's heart keeps beating. Mange and Claytonia remind us that growth never really stops, it simply changes its pace. October's garden, a season that still grows within you, and so we come to the end of our October journey. A month that so many think of as the winding down of life, but for gardeners like us, it's the quiet beginning of something new. From the promise of garlic buried in the soil to the tender greens of mosh defying the frost, every crop we've talked about carries a message. That growth doesn't stop when the air cools. It simply deepens, slows, and transforms. Whether you're tending raised beds in the backyard, a few buckets on your patio, or tiny pots on a windowsill, you've got everything you need to keep growing right where you are. October isn't about ending. It's about preparing, planting, and trusting the unseen work beneath the surface. Each seed, each sprout, is a small act of hope. So tell me, which of these 15 crops are calling to you this season? Are you dreaming of sweet spring strawberries or fast peppery arugula? I'd love to hear what you're planting, or even what you're hoping to try for the first time. Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Your stories are what keep this Earthly Delights community alive and thriving. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and join us for more moments of green inspiration, because every season has something beautiful waiting to grow, both in your garden and in you.